It's a privilege to stand here today and talk about a battle that every single one of us faces at some point in our lives, the fight with laziness. It's a sneaky enemy, isn't it? We all know the feeling. You have goals, dreams, and tasks ahead of you, but somehow the couch seems more inviting. The thought of doing gets drowned out by the temptation of doing nothing. Laziness can be a powerful force, but today I want to share with you how you can take charge and win this battle. Laziness is often misunderstood as mere unwillingness to do work, but in reality it is far more complex. When we say someone is lazy, it conjures images of someone who is apathetic or lacks drive, but this surface-level understanding can prevent us from addressing the true problem. Laziness is rarely just about not wanting to act. It is often a symptom of deeper, underlying issues that need to be identified and addressed. Understanding the root cause of laziness is the first, and arguably the most important, step in overcoming it. People aren't naturally lazy. In fact, most of us have dreams, ambitions, and a desire to achieve something meaningful in life. But when those desires don't translate into action, we label it as laziness. To effectively fight laziness, it's essential to understand what lies beneath this behavior. More often than not, laziness is a response to something deeper: psychological barriers, emotional resistance, or even physical limitations. Recognizing these barriers can help you move from inaction to meaningful, sustained effort. One major underlying cause of laziness is fear. It may sound surprising at first, but fear can manifest as procrastination or inactivity. When people are afraid of failure, they may choose not to start at all. The thought of putting in effort and then falling short can be so paralyzing that inaction seems like the safer choice. After all, if you never try, you never have to deal with failure, right? But this avoidance strategy is dangerous. It creates a cycle of inactivity that feeds laziness. The more we avoid tasks out of fear, the harder it becomes to break the cycle. Facing that fear, whether it's fear of not being good enough, of criticism, or of failure, is the key to getting unstuck. The moment we accept that failure is a part of the process, we can move forward. Every failure is a lesson, and each lesson brings us closer to success. Another significant cause of laziness is lack of motivation, often rooted in a disconnect between the task at hand and the individual's personal goals or values. When we don't see the point in doing something, or when a task feels meaningless, we naturally avoid it. It's not necessarily laziness, it's just that the task doesn't resonate with us. For instance, if someone is stuck in a job they find unfulfilling, they may procrastinate and label themselves as lazy, when the real issue is that they are disengaged from their work. This disconnection can lead to chronic avoidance, which is often mistaken for laziness. The solution here is to realign with your personal goals. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? How does this task fit into the bigger picture of what I want to achieve? Once you find that connection, the task becomes less of a burden and more of a stepping stone towards something you truly want. Moreover, laziness can stem from feeling overwhelmed. When tasks seem too big or too complicated, it's easy to feel paralyzed. This often leads to procrastination, which then gets mislabeled as laziness. The truth is, when a task feels insurmountable, our natural response is to avoid it altogether. We fear that we won't be able to complete it perfectly or that we'll never get it done, so instead of taking action, we freeze. This is where breaking tasks down into smaller, more manageable steps becomes crucial. When a big task is divided into small, achievable parts, it becomes less intimidating. By focusing on small wins, one step at a time, the feeling of being overwhelmed dissipates and action becomes possible. This simple shift in approach can dismantle the perception of laziness and replace it with a sense of progress and accomplishment. Perfectionism can also be a hidden root of laziness. This may seem counterintuitive. How can someone who strives for perfection be lazy? But perfectionism often paralyzes people. The need to get things just right can prevent someone from starting at all. The fear of not being able to meet their own high standards creates a barrier to taking action. Perfectionists may look at a task and think, if I can't do it perfectly, I won't do it at all. This leads to procrastination, avoidance, and eventually what looks like laziness. The key to overcoming this is learning to embrace imperfection. It's about realizing that progress is more important than perfection, and that taking imperfect action is far better than taking no action at all. Sometimes laziness is the result of physical or mental fatigue. We live in a world that demands constant productivity, and this can lead to burnout. When someone is physically exhausted or mentally drained, their body and mind may resist further effort, not because they are lazy, but because they need rest. In these cases, laziness can be a signal from the body that you need to recharge. Ignoring the need for rest and labeling yourself as lazy can be harmful in the long run. It's essential to listen to your body and mind, giving yourself the necessary breaks to recuperate. Once rested, the energy to take action returns and what felt like laziness fades away. Finally, habitual procrastination is another root cause that can give the appearance of laziness. When someone gets into the habit of putting things off, it becomes harder and harder to break the cycle. Procrastination is often driven by the factors mentioned earlier: fear, feeling overwhelmed, or lack of motivation, but over time, it becomes a default behavior. Even when the initial cause is no longer present, the habit of procrastinating can persist. Breaking this habit requires conscious effort and discipline. It's about recognizing the pattern, understanding what's driving it, and then actively working to replace it with more productive behaviors. In conclusion, laziness is rarely just a simple case of not wanting to do something. It's usually the result of deeper, more complex factors like fear, lack of motivation, feeling overwhelmed, perfectionism, fatigue, or habitual procrastination. By identifying and addressing these root causes, you can start to overcome laziness and move toward a more productive, fulfilling life. The key is to be honest with yourself, understand what's really going on beneath the surface, and take deliberate steps to address those issues. Only then can you truly win the fight with laziness. Setting clear, small goals is a vital strategy for overcoming laziness and making meaningful progress toward your larger ambitions. When faced with a daunting or seemingly overwhelming task, it's easy to feel paralyzed by the sheer scale of what needs to be done. This sense of paralysis often leads to procrastination, which, if left unchecked, can be mislabeled as laziness. However, the real issue lies not in an inherent unwillingness to work, but in a lack of clear direction. By breaking down large objectives into smaller, manageable tasks, you not only reduce the likelihood of feeling overwhelmed, but also give yourself a sense of clarity and focus. This incremental approach to goal setting transforms the way you approach work, turning what once seemed insurmountable into a series of achievable steps. One of the first benefits of setting clear, small goals is that they provide focus. A common reason people fail to take action is because they're unsure where to begin. If a goal is too vague, like get in shape or write a book, it's hard to know what the first step should be. These broad goals lack specificity, which leads to uncertainty, and that uncertainty can quickly turn into inaction. Without a clear roadmap, it's easy to become distracted or discouraged. However, when you break a large goal into smaller, clearly defined steps, you give yourself a specific target to aim for. Instead of telling yourself, I need to write a book, you can start with a more actionable goal like write 500 words today. This small, clear goal is much less intimidating, and it gives you a concrete place to start. Additionally, setting small goals helps combat feelings of being overwhelmed. Large goals often seem impossible because of their sheer size or complexity. The human brain is wired to avoid pain and discomfort, and when a task feels too big, the brain interprets it as threatening. This triggers avoidance behavior, which is often mistaken for laziness. But the problem isn't laziness, it's the brain trying to protect you from feeling overwhelmed. By breaking down your larger goals into smaller, bite-sized tasks, you bypass this middle block. For example, if your goal is to clean the entire house, that might feel like too much to tackle all at once. However, if you set a small goal to clean just one room or even one corner of a room, the task becomes far more manageable. This reduction in scale allows your brain to approach the task without feeling overwhelmed, which increases the likelihood of taking action. A key aspect of setting small goals is that they allow for measurable progress. One of the biggest demotivators is feeling like you're not making any headway. When a goal is too large or abstract, it can take a long time to see noticeable progress, and this lack of visible results can lead to frustration and ultimately giving up. Small goals, however, provide regular opportunities for achievement. Every time you complete a small task, you're rewarded with a sense of accomplishment, which motivates you to keep going. These little victories add up over time, creating momentum that propels you forward. For instance, if your goal is to lose 30 pounds, that number might seem unreachable at first. But if you set a small goal to lose just 1 or 2 pounds per week, each small success becomes a stepping stone toward your larger objective. As you meet these smaller goals, you'll build confidence and create a positive feedback loop, making it easier to continue the process. Small, clear goals also foster consistency, which is crucial for long-term success. It's often said that success is not the result of one big action, but rather a series of small, consistent efforts over time. When you set small, achievable goals, you make it easier to build habits around those actions. Habits are the foundation of consistency, and consistency is what ultimately leads to significant progress. For example, if your goal is to write a novel, the idea of writing an entire book can seem overwhelming. But if you set a goal to write just 200 words every day, that task becomes manageable and repeatable. Over time, these daily writing sessions add up, and before you know it, you've written a substantial portion of your book. By setting small, consistent goals, you create a system that promotes steady progress, and this consistency is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up. Another powerful benefit of setting small, clear goals is that they help build discipline. Motivation is fleeting. Some days you'll feel inspired and driven, while other days you won't. Relying on motivation alone is risky because it fluctuates, and when it fades, laziness can creep in. Discipline, on the other hand, is something you can control and cultivate. Small goals help you develop discipline because they make it easier to take action even on days when you don't feel motivated. For instance, let's say your goal is to read more books. On days when you're tired or distracted, the thought of reading for an hour might seem unappealing. But if you set a small goal to read for just 10 minutes, that's much more manageable. You're more likely to stick to a 10-minute goal even when you're not feeling motivated, and over time, this daily discipline will help you achieve your larger goal of reading more books. Clear, small goals also provide clarity in decision-making. When you have a large, vague goal, it's easy to get sidetracked because you're not sure which actions will get you closer to your objective. This lack of clarity often leads to procrastination or wasted effort. But when your goals are small and well-defined, it becomes easier to prioritize your actions. You know exactly what needs to be done, and you can focus your time and energy on the tasks that matter most. For example, if your goal is to improve your public speaking skills, that's a broad objective that could lead to confusion about where to start. However, if you set a small goal to practice speaking for 10 minutes each day, you have a clear action to take. This clarity makes it easier to stay on track and avoid distractions. Finally, small, clear goals help to reduce stress and anxiety. Big, undefined goals often come with a sense of pressure, which can lead to stress. The larger the goal, the more room there is for doubt and fear. You might worry about whether you're capable of achieving it or whether you're on the right path. This anxiety can be paralyzing, leading to procrastination and avoidance. However, when you set small goals, you reduce the amount of uncertainty and anxiety. Each small goal is more manageable, which lowers your stress levels and makes it easier to take action. For instance, if your goal is to advance in your career, that can feel like a massive undertaking filled with uncertainties. But if you set a small goal to update your resume this week, that's a task you can complete without feeling overwhelmed. As you accomplish these smaller goals, your confidence grows and your anxiety diminishes, making it easier to continue moving forward. In conclusion, setting clear, small goals is one of the most effective strategies for overcoming laziness and achieving long-term success. By providing focus, reducing feelings of being overwhelmed, fostering consistency, building discipline, and reducing stress, small goals make it easier to take action and make steady progress toward your larger ambitions. They turn big, intimidating tasks into manageable steps, empowering you to stay motivated and disciplined even when the going gets tough. Through small, incremental efforts, you can achieve great things. Building discipline through routines is a powerful way to overcome laziness and make consistent progress toward your goals. Discipline is often mistaken for an inherent trait that some people are born with, but in reality, it's a skill that can be cultivated. At its core, discipline is about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Routines are the structure that allows discipline to take root and thrive, providing a reliable framework for consistent action. When you build discipline through routines, you create an environment in which success becomes more likely, not because of a sudden burst of motivation, but because you've developed habits that make taking action automatic. One of the most significant benefits of building discipline through routines is that it removes decision fatigue. Every day we are faced with countless decisions, from what to wear to what tasks to tackle. The more decisions we have to make, the more mentally exhausting it becomes. This phenomenon, known as decision fatigue, can lead to poor choices or even paralysis by analysis, where we avoid taking action because we're overwhelmed by options. Routines eliminate the need to make constant decisions. When you follow a routine, many of your actions are predetermined. You don't have to decide whether or not to work on your goals because your routine tells you when and how to do it. This saves mental energy and makes it easier to stay disciplined, even when you're feeling tired or unmotivated. A key aspect of building discipline through routines is the concept of consistency. Discipline isn't about one grand act of willpower, it's about showing up day after day, even when the conditions aren't perfect. A routine provides the consistency needed to develop this kind of discipline. For example, if you have a morning routine that includes exercising for 30 minutes, reading for 20 minutes, and reviewing your goals for the day, over time these activities become second nature. You no longer have to rely on motivation to get them done, they simply become part of your day. This consistency is what ultimately leads to long-term success. By sticking to a routine, you create a sense of momentum that makes it easier to stay on track and avoid the pitfalls of laziness. Another important factor in building discipline through routines is the predictability that routines offer. When you have a set routine, you know what to expect each day. This predictability reduces uncertainty, which can be a major cause of procrastination. When we're unsure about what to do next or how to approach a task, it's easy to put it off. Routines remove that uncertainty by establishing a clear path for action. For example, if you have a daily routine that includes working on a specific project for an hour every afternoon, you don't have to waste time wondering when you'll find the time to work on it. You know exactly when you'll do it, and you can focus your energy on completing the task rather than deciding whether or not to start. This kind of predictability makes it much easier to stay disciplined and avoid the distractions that lead to laziness. Routines also help you build discipline by fostering habits. A habit is a behavior that has been repeated so often that it becomes automatic. When a behavior becomes a habit, it no longer requires conscious effort or willpower to perform, it simply happens as part of your routine. This is one of the reasons why routines are so effective at building discipline. By incorporating productive habits into your daily routine, you make it easier to stay disciplined because the actions you need to take are no longer a struggle. For example, if you make it a habit to write for 30 minutes every morning as part of your routine, you won't have to battle with yourself to sit down and start writing. It will become a natural part of your day, and over time, your discipline will grow stronger as the habit takes hold. A well-structured routine also provides accountability, which is crucial for building discipline. When you have a routine, you can measure your progress and see whether or not you're sticking to your plan. This creates a sense of responsibility and helps you stay on track. For example, if your routine includes setting aside time each evening to review your progress on your goals, you'll be more likely to hold yourself accountable for the actions you've taken or failed to take during the day. This regular review process helps reinforce discipline by reminding you of the importance of staying consistent with your routine. It also gives you an opportunity to adjust your routine if something isn't working, ensuring that you're always moving in the right direction. Another benefit of routines is that they help you prioritize your time and energy. When you build a routine, you decide in advance what activities are most important and when you'll do them. This prevents you from wasting time on unproductive tasks or getting sidetracked by distractions. By following a routine, you ensure that the most important tasks are always given priority, which helps you stay disciplined and focused. For example, if your routine includes dedicating the first hour of your workday to your most important project, you're far less likely to procrastinate or get bogged down by less important tasks. This kind of prioritization helps you make steady progress toward your goals, even when motivation is low. It's also important to recognize that routines can help build discipline by creating a sense of stability. Life is full of unexpected events and challenges, and it's easy to get thrown off course when things don't go as planned. A routine provides a stable foundation that you can rely on, even when external circumstances are chaotic. When you have a routine in place, you know that certain tasks will always get done, no matter what happens. This stability helps you stay disciplined because it gives you something to fall back on during difficult times. For example, if you have a stressful day at work, but your routine includes meditating for 10 minutes before bed, that small act of sticking to your routine can help you regain a sense of control and discipline. Additionally, routines help you build discipline by teaching you the value of delayed gratification. Discipline often requires you to forego short-term pleasures in favor of long-term gains. A routine helps reinforce this mindset by showing you that small, consistent actions over time lead to significant results. For example, if your routine includes saving a portion of your income each month, you may have to sacrifice some immediate spending, but over time, you'll see the long-term benefits of building financial security. This practice of delaying gratification helps strengthen your discipline because it trains you to focus on the bigger picture rather than seeking instant rewards. Lastly, routines help you build discipline by making you more efficient. When you follow a routine, you develop a rhythm that allows you to complete tasks more quickly and with less effort. This increased efficiency helps you stay disciplined because it reduces the friction involved in getting things done. For example, if your routine includes checking emails at the same time each day, you'll become more efficient at managing your inbox, freeing up time for other tasks. This efficiency reinforces your discipline by making it easier to stay productive and avoid the distractions that can lead to laziness. In conclusion, building discipline through routines is a highly effective strategy for overcoming laziness and achieving long-term success. Routines remove decision fatigue, create consistency, foster habits, provide accountability, help prioritize time, offer stability, reinforce delayed gratification, and increase efficiency. By incorporating a well-structured routine into your daily life, you can cultivate the discipline needed to stay on track and make steady progress toward your goals, even when motivation wanes. Discipline isn't something that happens overnight. It's something you build over time through the consistent practice of routines that support your personal and professional growth. Rewarding progress and staying accountable are two essential strategies for maintaining motivation, building discipline, and overcoming laziness. When trying to achieve any goal, whether personal or professional, it's easy to lose momentum, especially when the results aren't immediate. By rewarding yourself for the progress you make, even in small ways, you create a positive feedback loop that reinforces your efforts. Meanwhile, accountability ensures that you remain committed to your goals, even when motivation dips. Together, these approaches provide a powerful system for staying on track and pushing through challenges, ultimately helping you to achieve long-term success. One of the main reasons rewarding progress is so effective is that it taps into the brain's natural reward system. The human brain is wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain, which is why immediate gratification is often more appealing than working toward long-term goals. Laziness can creep in when we don't see immediate results or when the task at hand feels too far removed from the reward. However, by breaking your progress into smaller milestones and rewarding yourself along the way, you give your brain the positive reinforcement it craves. This encourages you to keep going as the reward acts as a signal to your brain that your efforts are paying off, even if the ultimate goal is still far in the future. Rewards don't have to be extravagant to be effective. In fact, small, meaningful rewards can be just as powerful as larger ones. The key is to choose rewards that are personally motivating and align with your values. For example, if you've completed a difficult task or hit a milestone, you could reward yourself with a small treat, a break to do something you enjoy, or time spent with friends or family. These rewards act as positive reinforcement for your hard work, helping to sustain your motivation. They also break the monotony of continuous effort, giving you something to look forward to as you work toward your goal. Over time, this practice of rewarding yourself for progress can help to shift your mindset from seeing hard work as drudgery to viewing it as a pathway to positive experiences. One powerful psychological effect of rewarding progress is the dopamine release that occurs when you receive a reward. Dopamine is the brain's feel-good neurotransmitter, and it plays a significant role in motivation. Each time you accomplish a small goal and reward yourself, your brain releases dopamine, which not only makes you feel good, but also reinforces the behavior that led to the reward. This creates a feedback loop where completing tasks becomes associated with positive feelings, making it easier to continue working toward your goals. As this process repeats, your brain begins to crave the sense of accomplishment and the associated reward, making you more likely to stay productive and less likely to fall into patterns of laziness. In addition to rewarding progress, staying accountable is a crucial element in the battle against laziness. Accountability helps ensure that you remain committed to your goals, even on days when motivation is low or distractions are high. There are several ways to build accountability into your life, and the most effective method often depends on your personality and the nature of your goals. One of the simplest and most effective forms of accountability is to share your goals with someone else. When you tell a friend, family member, or colleague about your goals, you create an external form of accountability. Now, it's not just about letting yourself down if you fail to follow through, it's about letting someone else down too. This social pressure can be a powerful motivator. Knowing that someone else is aware of your goals and is checking in on your progress can push you to stay focused and disciplined. For example, if you tell a friend that you plan to run 3 times a week, you're more likely to follow through because you know they'll ask how it's going. In this way, accountability partners can help keep you honest and motivated. Accountability can also come in the form of regular check-ins with yourself. This might involve setting aside time each week or month to review your progress and reflect on how well you're sticking to your plan. During these check-ins, you can evaluate what's working, what's not, and make adjustments as needed. This practice of self-accountability helps you stay aware of your progress and prevents laziness from creeping in unnoticed. It also allows you to celebrate small wins, reinforcing the importance of rewarding progress along the way. By regularly assessing your progress, you ensure that you remain on track and stay committed to your goals over the long term. In some cases, using external tools or systems can help increase accountability. For instance, you might use an app or planner to track your progress toward a specific goal, such as exercising regularly, learning a new skill, or working on a project. These tools provide a visual representation of your progress, which can be highly motivating. Seeing how far you've come and knowing that you've been consistent can reinforce your desire to keep going. Additionally, many apps offer reminders or prompts to help you stay on track, further increasing your accountability by nudging you to take action, even when you're feeling unmotivated. For those who thrive in group settings, joining a community or accountability group can be an excellent way to stay accountable. These groups, whether they're in person or online, provide a structured environment where individuals can share their goals, challenges, and progress with others. The group dynamic creates a sense of collective accountability as everyone is working toward their own goals while also supporting and encouraging each other. For example, if you're trying to improve your fitness, joining a workout group or online fitness community can provide the motivation and accountability you need to stay consistent. Knowing that others are counting on you to show up can push you to take action, even on days when you don't feel like it. Rewards and accountability work particularly well when they're tied to specific, measurable goals. It's important to set clear milestones that allow you to track your progress and celebrate your achievements along the way. For example, if your goal is to write a book, you might set smaller goals such as writing 500 words a day or completing a chapter by the end of the month. Each time you hit one of these milestones, you can reward yourself in a way that feels meaningful and motivating. Similarly, by sharing your milestones with an accountability partner or group, you create checkpoints that encourage you to stay focused and keep moving forward. Ultimately, combining rewards and accountability creates a powerful cycle of motivation. Rewards provide the immediate gratification that helps keep you energized and motivated, while accountability ensures that you stay committed to the process, even when it gets tough. Together, these strategies can help you overcome laziness by reinforcing positive behaviors and keeping you focused on your long-term goals. When you know that you'll be rewarded for your efforts and that someone, even if it's just yourself, is holding you accountable, it becomes much harder to give in to procrastination or laziness. In conclusion, rewarding progress and staying accountable are crucial components of overcoming laziness and achieving success. By rewarding yourself for small wins, you reinforce positive behavior and keep your motivation high. At the same time, staying accountable ensures that you remain committed to your goals even when the initial excitement wears off. Whether through social accountability, self-assessment, or external tools, building these practices into your routine can help you stay disciplined, focused, and productive. These strategies create a supportive system that makes it easier to push through challenges, maintain consistency, and ultimately achieve the long-term success you desire.